Hi everybody, this is Beauty Bubble for The Beauty Bubble here on YouTube. Welcome back to my channel. Last night I had a good time with the YouTube Creator Spotlight for Petty Page, and we're going to try and do the same thing, but maybe keep it under 30 minutes today and eventually maybe get the channel audits somewhere under 15 minutes. And tonight it is all about Peter Monn, M-O-N-N. And it could be Monn, or I believe it's just Monn, M-O-N-N. So what you see before you is just a Peter Monn, date redone. Scroll down to the very first video that is in the lineup on YouTube, and we're just going to do like what we did last night, literally just scroll through the videos, take some notes on how the development of his drama channel happened, and then the topics and the focus on other content creators and how that all evolved. Down below tonight, though, you'll notice that in the description that I've started kind of a note-taking box, and that area will just keep adding notes and notes until when I'm done, that we'll have maybe a final episode that will encapsulate how does one build a drama channel, and what are the, not the formula, but what are the key components of a drama channel. Not so much dealing with the personality of the owners of these drama channels, but more about the practical, the formula, the practical bits of what it takes, and how one actually develops. And can you do it within, like being reasonable? Can you build a decent enough drama channel in 365 days? Or are you looking at other kind of bumps that you need from other larger YouTube drama channels to help you along? So that's the sort of thing, and it's not going to be too painful. And as you know, I'm not going to be, it's going to be rather dry actually, because it's just more of an academic view of these drama channels. Not to see whether or not they have an effective structure on YouTube just yet. I think maybe once we get to the sixth one, we're going to start seeing a real theme develop in why these drama channels have been so successful, and how much of a play do they have in the makeup of YouTube. Okay, so let me bring this down because it looks as though we are good on the Hangout side. Make sure, and then if you wanted to, you can always check in on the chat. And I've given you a little note to be reminded that there are 2 bots that run during the stream covering both Bitcoin and the cookbook, and then other sorts of ancillary rules and that sort of thing that run through. So take no never mind to the way that the bots run, but if you'd like to check in with me. As always, right, everyone asks for a thumbs up, and hit the notifier if that is your sort of thing, and maybe you want to take a look at my content in general. This is a departure, as I say in the bottom. It is a departure from my usual content, but I just think that these personalities on YouTube have taken such a media, have taken the media by storm, and so I'm kind of scrolling back and back and back and back, and not really looking at them, their outlandishness or, the clickbait parts of their titles or anything like that. We're just taking a very kind of scientific approach, if there's such a thing, and just trying to do some channel audits. Okay, so we're good enough on the YouTube side, and let me bring this down and go back into my screen share. So, as I said, I did a search query, Peter Monn, and then reversed the dates and came down to the very bottom. The very first one, he comes out roaring with 137,000 views, dealing with Jeffree Star. Jeffree Star. Bringing up this word, there is a syntax among all of the drama channels, and receipts, of course, is one of them. So great SEO there. And then he does an unboxing. Once again, he brings up another, in the labeling now, in the title, all uppercase, of course, brings up another YouTuber. That's only 3 videos in, so he goes, Jeffree Star brings him 137, Sanders Kennedy, he drops off by 100,000 on that video. Then, only because he's being mentioned, here's another YouTuber, doesn't get as many views, trying to pull out with another high-profile YouTuber, Trisha Paytas, and not getting as many views. And so that little test is interesting to see that can one guy bring another guy using clearly out of league YouTuber names. Then he goes into this is a whole genre about body shaming and all of that. And so he's going in here, and then very early, he's going into the health. And you'll notice that in the description, you'll notice that the thing that you want to do is make sure that you present yourself as some sort of a victim, and also that you deal with your health. I talked about this last night, actually, that handling your health concerns and health issues early on seems to be almost like a prerequisite to being part of the drama community. It adds a certain amount of empathy. Now, I think that they rush into this a little bit because even the structure of a political campaign, unless you are physically disabled, where people can see that you're disabled, it is kind of odd that you would, even with your viewerships, and I don't know how many subscribers he had at the moment of doing this, but it's a little early to be talking about addiction and recovery and health scares and that sort of thing. But this was how he went about it. Got 12,000 views, 13,000 views, once again, talking about health. Here we bring in more of the drama, talking about divorce and boyfriends, and also bringing up very big YouTuber names. Going back to the health, right? Am I obese? Now we get into more of the classical drama, once again, bringing up a big YouTuber's name, and then, the truth about and exposing them. And here's that word, receipt. So definitely you can see already that there's a syntax being, this tabloid journalism and that approach. It's not as elegant maybe, but in any event, he's still using the same sorts of things. He gets very mentioned twice already. Cindy Starlight talking about him, and that Dustin talking about him, actually making a full video about him. And there's something about his relationships, once again, getting very letting people in on your personal life, how to get over a breakup. Here we go with exposing. This is also from Dustin Daly. Now look at how his views jumped from what was it, 500 or so to 1.2 thousand views. All right, another drama channel also using his name with 4,000 views, talking about him, and this other YouTuber, Karina Kaboom. And once again, we're going to get back into the sad, the woe is me kind of thing. It's still very woe is me, and not, I don't know how he's actually balancing that woe is me and then being a drama channel. It's pretty interesting how he's able to do that. A couple of other YouTubers coming in, and then reading gossip magazines. This has been tried before. Some of the problems in doing that is that when you showcase the tabloids, you can run into some problem with copyright. And then Amy Slayton, and then Miss Wonderful, How Do I Know? But look at this, 4.3 thousand views mentioning his name already. Here we go again with the health. I had a seizure. And then, of course, along with that, you have to have a nasty neighbor, the weight loss journey. And then he goes back to the drama, Sanders Kennedy, Grow Up. Someone else coming out wanting to expose. Remember, this is all very early on. And then once again, Sanders Kennedy. And you can see that he's really getting a boon from Miss Wonderful, which is really something else. In fact, she created a hashtag Team Peter. Other people wanting to talk. He brings up Trisha Paytas and the gay community, the mukbang. wanting to expose. Actually, he's doing this himself. Look at that, though. The views are increasing now, 13,000 views. So he knows that this works. He got 13,000 views on Peter Monn Exposed, brings it up again. Remember, this is himself, Peter Monn, little change up in the way that the headline is. There's another YouTuber, a drama YouTuber, Colton Sparks, with 18,000 views and a Dear Peter Monn letter. So remember, in a very short time, as far as like the total views amassed, where he is being popularized in the drama community, it can happen very quickly, as you can see, as far as the views. And of course, the views mean that other YouTubers will want to talk about you or label their YouTubes that they're going to be talking about you, so they benefit and then you benefit by being able to back end with their content. He's being called a bully for the first time. And now here we come with the sympathy. I can't do this anymore. I don't know much about this, The Glamorous Life. I have seen her around. I wish that I knew. I don't know what her name is, actually. Once again, same sort of people. Now we're using a new word, triggered. I don't see that used. I know that it's used in, you know, other forums, you know, air quote, you know, oh, you got triggered or you triggered her or what have you. This is interesting. They mention, this is Sanders Kennedy now. Look at this. He got 75,000 views mentioning PewDiePie, Candy Johnson, and then he was able to get Peter Monn in there. Amazing. Like, that's amazing. That would make anyone that's in this genre feel like, wow, that's crazy. I get my name mentioned and there's 75,000 views that come to Sanders Kennedy. We've seen this before, this dying, you know, what did they do to kill off their channel, that sort of thing, but this is about Tyler Oakley. We're gonna move through these really quickly so that we're not spending a tremendous amount of time. So I'm just going to go ahead and move. Same sort of thing, though. You can kind of see this, and also the thumbnails aren't really that great, but they seem to always like these emojis. But it's not as, you know, it's not very expressive. He is using other people's, I find that odd that most of the time he has his self, and then now he brings Amy onto his thumbnails. That's Amy Slayton. All right. Celebrity rumors. He got 8.1 thousand views when Trisha came on. It must have been like a You Now, maybe. I'm not too sure about that. Same thing, same thing, same thing. Then he does some mukbangs. And we're way down, so I'm going to have to move really quickly. Some of these thumbnails are really fascinating, though. This big font, the 2-up shots or 3-up shots, these all seem to be very popular. We're not seeing the white cutouts yet. There he is with Petty Page, who we did the review of yesterday. So not really a whole lot, as you can see. So certainly you can get through the thumbnails and the titling. I'm thinking by now, we're only in our second channel, Audit, and it seems as though, so again, there's still no mention of, here's the first mention actually of product, a fidget spinner, about 7.6 thousand views. I'm pretty sure that he already understands that anything dealing with Amy Slayton is going to give him high views. There's the fidget spinner again. 19,000 views on the Jeffree Star. Remember, he started off with Jeffree Star. I don't think we've seen, this might only be the second time, maybe. Trying to bring up, you know, information from Hollywood. You don't see a lot of that either, by the way, because I have a feeling that the PR teams of a lot of the well-known, especially the television shows, kind of come after this. Here's a Subway mukbang, Bob Evans mukbang. So he's tried this before, the mukbangs. Taco Bell, Donato's. Look at this on the Gigi Gorgeous, pardon me, using their imagery in bad taste, got 95,000 views. He got more views on that one than he did when he talked about Katy Perry. 27,000 views from Katy Perry. Here's Jeffree Star again. Nikki Tutorials. We're going to run up. So pretty much like the same sort of thumbnails. There's really not anything too sexy about that. Keep going. He certainly likes to use Amy Slate, and look at the views, 62,000 views. Keep going. Talking about what he doesn't like Blue Apron. So remember, I'm only about a third of the way through, so let me make sure that I can get this all in a half of an hour. We've been up 17 minutes, okay. All right, let me keep going. I wish I could tell you, I mean, clearly Trisha, Amy, Jeffree Star, those three certainly get you views. Also the fonts with the single image, 63,000 views on this image. Confused, we got 40,000 views on another Gigi Gorgeous, pardon me. Got my G's all messed up. So you'll even notice here's someone that does not have the followers. Don't get it twisted. Highlights featuring Peter Monn and Dustin Dailey. They have 142 views. So you can see that there's a big difference between once that traction starts, where he could put a title in like that and get 10 times, 100 times the views. What can I say? 1,000 times the views. A lot of this exposed drama, the truth. There's that 3 up again that we talked about from Petty Page's thumbnails. Big deal on the exposed thing. All right, we'll keep going. I'm going to just go really fast up here because there's a 3 up again. I'm looking for some bigger numbers. Here's the 158,000 views. He's using Kukian, however it is, who's, I guess, part of the drama community that's been popular in the drama community. But look at that, 158,000 views. So maybe that will be our next channel audit. So we will take a look at him. You can see just by going through here that you kind of can get an idea of who the top 50 are. Keep going. Here he is again. My video, my response, 193,000 views. Dustin Dailey comes up really from the rear, mentioning Kukian slanders Peter Monn. It's 32,000 views. Okay, we're going to go really fast. A lot of Kukian during this time in history. And then for the very first time, we're seeing kind of more what are called the porch hillbillies. I don't know what they really call themselves, but here's Mama Beth with 12,000 views from her. So even a channel her size can get 12,000 views. But remember, it's moving back. She's mentioning a lot of people. Kukian attacks Peter Monn, lies, Karina Kaboom, Rich Lux. Here's someone that tried to use the same sort of thing, Stand with Peter. Saw that Team Peter. Mackenzie Elizabeth, she got 218 views. Remember, once again, trying to use the labeling, but just not, there's no traction there. Same with here. This is an account called Peter Monn Support. We got 344 views. Look at this. This is a Charles Gross, my side of John Peter Monn situation. And that he might delete this. This was 8 months ago. He got 109,000 views. I don't think that he will be deleting that. My thoughts, 104,000. And now here his own videos just on his own are starting to increase in numbers. And we're about halfway through now. I'm just looking for anything that might be a little different. Now we're getting into well, because this is Mango Tea and other people, the differences between the thumbnails are really shocking. In fact, all of those are not Peter Monn. Here we get the very first one here. All those others were other creators. It's again using the high-profile YouTuber, their likeness on your thumbnails. So really not, I think if you have a decent enough timeline on things that have happened, and you kind of arrive at your what's called like your shtick, the way that you're going to approach the material, that this is just after 1 year. You can see the number of views that amass. Here we go, finally. Here's the white on someone else's, though. Maybe we'll see a change in his thumbnail, but we still don't. Not a whole lot there. But he does use other people's likenesses, and so he's probably thinking, what do I need? I need great thumbnails because I already have these incredible images that have been done by a professional or just are really, perfect. Why does he have to? Now he has merchandise. Ah, here we go. Peter Monn merchandise. Peter Monn. You need to scroll back. Here's his merchandise. 5 months ago. 6 months ago. 6 months. Looks like it was 6 months ago. He started putting merchandise up. My merchandise from Teespring. So now we know that the income has forked off a little bit. There's more access to income. My merch, my channel. Okay, we're almost up at the top. But still nothing, when you're scrolling through these, there's not one certain kind of thing that stands out, if you'll notice. I mean, there's a certain appearance that he has, but outside of that, everything seems to be the template of the visual is pretty easy. think the merchandise, the fact that this is, if you'll notice, if you talk to like experts, to lead off with your merchandise shop, like they'll never say to do that. But these channels, believe you me, they do know how to capitalize on being on YouTube. Oh, sure. All right. Look at that, 43,000 views. Okay, we are almost up. 29,000 views. So it doesn't stop. There's no slowing, by the way, either. It's not like he had a one-hit wonder and then went down to 3 views. And there's certain people that he talks about and he knows that he's going to be getting the views. And I don't know which is his most successful view count. We could do that later on when we're done. Okay, I'm going to scroll up real fast. Of course, anytime there's Jeffree Star, you'll notice that there's a difference, a punch in color. But it doesn't look like he ever went for the full cutout style. Still uses the same sort of thing. He uses their imagery with this big bold text. So, okay, we're almost there. See this exposed, truth exposed, canceled, or truth exposed. Almost there. Well, good. We're going to erase up here. But really, as far as when the experts, tell you, oh, let's take a look at your thumbnails, and your thumbnails aren't this, and your thumbnails are not that. That is no. He's taking other images and likeness, so there's no reason. That's all he has to say. There's no reason to change these thumbnails because it doesn't matter. All right, go up to the very last one. And you can see a lot more people. If he brings a certain mix, you'll notice throughout this that he'll reach like an arc, and then there will be so many other people that want to talk about what he's talking about that they'll come in. And they'll boost his name up even more. Really something. Almost. Okay, there we go. So the last one right now that we're sitting on 21 minutes ago. Peter, Monn, Minions, Dustin Daly, more drama to come. Rest in peace, Peter Monn. Don't get it twisted. Peter Monn, 17 hours ago. And then this is the last one that he did, but he got 19,000 views. And then everything after that is just lifting all boats. All of these people that are willing to talk about, talk about him, and that all lifts him, and then he's able to get the content from there if he finds it useful. And then there we are. Okay, so thank you very much. Let me go over to the YouTube just to make sure. And thank you so much for stopping by if you do in the replay. This has been Beauty Bubble for the Beauty Bubble here on YouTube after 8 years. Every single day, I think about how in the world can I make this YouTube thing be made part of, really just my everyday, just use it as a diary and have it be useful for myself and things that I'm interested in, and maybe there's something it might inspire you to do, or maybe there's a piece of the technology that I'm using that you never thought to use or don't know how to use, etc. like that. So thank you very much. This has been YouTube Creator Spotlight. This is my second one, and tonight on Peter Monn. It is a departure from my usual content, and there are a few creators in the drama community. I will be doing channel audits for a future presentation. It'll probably be just like, what have I learned, and if you wanted to build a drama channel, what have I learned about how you might be able to go about doing that if it is something that interests you. Okay, and I'll talk to everyone real soon. Bye-bye.